This, and I'm almost done, but this is an important slide. In the U.S., we wanted to take a look at the effectiveness of online advertising at driving sales in retail stores. So we took the ComScore database, linked it using name and address and the permission that we had to do that to a retailer's loyalty card database. In this case, we were looking at the Kroger supermarket chain, one of the major chains in the U.S. And we measured the ability of online advertising to lift sales at retail over a 3-month period. And those are the numbers in the middle bar. So a 9% lift on average across a lot of studies with about a 40% average reach in the advertised, in the online campaigns. I then went to IRI that runs a service called Behavior Scan that is a service that evaluates the ability of television advertising to lift retail sales, again using a tightly controlled design, exposed people versus unexposed people. And they told me that across 100-plus studies that they've run of television advertising versus no advertising in consumer packaged goods, on average they see an 8% lift over the course of a year. So what you've got here is a 9% lift with online advertising in 3 months, about the same amount of a lift that you get with television over the course of a year. If you were to look at these results on the basis of cost per point of lift, you'd find that, not surprising, that the internet would shine in that regard. Why does it work so fast? My personal theory is that with the internet, you're probably able to deliver your ads in a more tightly targeted manner, so you deliver more of your impressions against your target audience than you can do with television, and as a result, you get very strong results. On the right is the results of a campaign that we ran for a packaged goods client running on a social network site, MySpace, and same kind of lift over 3 months that we saw when we looked at ads running across the internet. So that's what I wanted to show you this morning, and I hope I've accomplished 2 things. One is to give you some evidence that says that the integration of panels and server data is the wave of the future. Second, I hope I've been able to convince you that online advertising has significant effects, significant impact, both online as well as at retail, even in the face of minimal or zero clicks. Thank you very much.
So the question is, which of the following companies will be the dominant digital advertising player in 5 years' time? You've got 10 seconds to predict the future accurately, and then we'll see what you guys think. The data's been captured, and Google looks like the still odds-on favorite. Gentlemen, do you guys agree real quickly?
Look, I think it comes down to the players that have, as I was talking about before, have scale and the ability to reach those users and can integrate data very well. So I think that, the companies like, Google and Microsoft, I think that would be a fair assessment. They've got a good heritage in, integrating technology, and then I think data is a very exciting place right now for all of us. So I think these companies will be able to, they have the scale and the reach and the ability to find, deliver messages to those audiences very efficiently.
So I think that to answer the question, one has to look at search separately from display and video advertising, because Google obviously dominates in search. Be interesting to see what the combination of Microsoft and Yahoo will be able to do there, and the results so far for Bing are very encouraging. But Google certainly dominates search. But if you look at display, Google's market share is far, far lower. And in the U.S., at least, Yahoo is clearly the leader by a stretch. So I think it's going to be very interesting to see it play out. And I found that forecasting is always difficult, especially when it concerns the future. So I think I might not jump to the conclusion of a prediction here.
Well, one of the common themes of both of your presentations was the analytics and the insight based on data that you can perceive more and more, and as you try to do it better and better, dealing with things like cookie deletion. Right. Do either of you think we can see marketers or agencies do anything different or further or really innovative in their thinking as a result of this technology that we haven't seen much of before? So
that's a really good question. So I think that the education of the industry to some of the issues that I brought up is working. And I'll just give you one statistic to support that. So the IAB in the U.S. released their data for the fourth quarter advertising spending. All right? The growth rate for display advertising was 4 times that of search, which has never happened before. Normally, search far outpaces display. So display there included banners, rich media, and video, so it's a total. But I found that to be a very, very encouraging sign that maybe we're getting more of the branding dollars beginning to move onto the internet.
I've heard anecdotally, too, that branding dollars online are going to become more of a force than they had been, which I think is encouraging to a lot of media publishers. But what do you think?
Yeah, look, I agree. I think that the slide that you put up there was one of the best depictions of branding versus direct response, and I was really encouraged to see that. I think that the way that we look at it is slightly off topic, but we believe that video in the display business will become the preferred branding vehicle on the internet. And, someone grabbed me at the bar if you want to talk about that tonight at the gala dinner, but, I'll be very passionately talking about, I don't think it's about necessarily engagement rates or isn't engagement a, 50% view of this particular type of content. I think that there is inherently value in moving the industry more to where the TV business is in relation to a measurement system that is basically trying to assure that my message reached this proportion of my target audience, whether it be female grocery buyers, males 15 to 34. And so I think that we have a long way to go, but I don't think the future is pushing it more down to the engagement or the click. I think it's around great insights into brand uplift, brand awareness, unaided brand awareness, and all of the traditional metrics that we've built a very big industry of already.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. If you look at the way that these exchanges have emerged now and the ability to buy an audience, it gives you tremendous targeting ability, but I think requires the right creative to be put in front of that audience. But with the availability of video, you've got sight, sound, and motion, and you can put something that's pretty persuasive in front of the consumer. So the future, I think, is really, really bright for online advertising.
It's interesting. Yesterday, I think as we went into the discussion following Jimmy Wales' keynote, the audience was asked what technology was going to have the biggest impact, and the audience chose social media. Jimmy chose broadband. You guys sound like you're choosing video.
I press video.
You press video.
Video requires a lot of broadband. If you look at the forecasts of total bandwidth consumption on mobile, these are Morgan Stanley numbers and are mind-boggling to me. In 3 years, 60% of the total bandwidth consumption on mobile is going to be video. And
mobile.
On mobile, and Lord knows the carriers don't have the capacity to today to handle it. So. Clearly video is going to be really important, but the impact of social networking is something that we just can't ignore. So our data now is saying that Facebook reaches in a month 420 million people. If Facebook were a country, it would be the 3rd largest country in the world after India and China. And it looks like mobile access of social networking sites within the next 3 years may well exceed the fixed internet access. And so, you've got massive numbers, you've got access anywhere during the day. It'd be interesting to see what happens with advertising running there.
Well, thanks very much, gentlemen. I believe we're going to take a break now and reconvene at 11:30, so it's not going to be too long that we see you back here.
Okay, thanks a lot.
But thanks much. Great panel. Thank you.